Welcome back to a very, very late night episode of Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, I shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we're a bit late night, mainly because I was kind of busy for most of this evening, to be honest, so yes. What am I going to talk about? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I guess I'll figure it out in a second. Yes. I don't know, I was trying to think. Good evening everyone here on Late Night Broadcast. Hope I can make it through this. Right now in Fawnhallow it's 1:54 AM on what should be Thursday, March 26th, 2026. Yes, so the thumbnail art's also not going to be done for today. Obviously I didn't really have a lot of time today to do it. Hopefully I have time tomorrow, and then maybe I'll edit on Saturday. I don't know. I don't know how many more days necessarily I will need to finish off a thumbnail art, but I mean, you can kind of see most of it, to be honest, right? So yeah, yeah. What am I going to talk about? I've heard a lot more about Pocopia now, and apparently it's pretty darn good, you know. I've heard about, you know, people playing it and about a little bit more about what's going on. Then I saw Zero's, what are they called? Not Zero Punctuation, The Escapist, Ramblematic. They did Pocopia as one of the things, and I was like, oh, you know what, let's actually just give us a watch and see, you know, sort of vibe. I didn't realise it was a whole, like, Minecraft sort of dealio. Like, I didn't realise you could customise things block by block, you know. That, I mean, I guess it, like, on a literal level surprised me. I wouldn't say it would be, like, surprised in the extent where it's like, whoa, I can't believe this is it. But yeah. Apart from that, well, what else to talk about? I don't really know, to be honest. I will say, I've started taking a little bit of lactase before eating lactose heavy dishes, and honestly, it's working out pretty well. I would say. I'm like, I think it genuinely happened. I've become lactose intolerant as I grew older, which is also very weird because apparently when I was much younger, like when I was a baby, that is, baby and like a few months old or something, I was apparently lactose intolerant as well. Like apparently I would have reactions, or like I would break out in hives or something if I ingested milk, which was very, very interesting to hear about. And then, you know, I've been completely fine with lactose for the past, I don't know, 2 decades or so, 2.5 decades. And now it's only in recent times where I'm just like, I might be lactose intolerant again. Kind of weird it going like full circle like that. But I will say it's not to like an extreme degree. Well, it wasn't for a little while, but then I've been like, a lot of the times I've been having like scraps and things like that. Like, okay, maybe there's something more to this. So finally, I actually picked up some lactase, and you know, had a pretty lactose heavy meal, I suppose, for evening. It was a lot of pizza. I had lactose before it. I'm not gonna say I felt completely fine, but I felt basically like normal. It's sort of like, I feel bloated, but probably more so because I had a lot of pizza rather than necessarily because of the cheese, I think, which I guess kind of proves my point, I suppose, in a way. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, develop an allergy. I mean, probably the answer is that I will just have less and less lactose, if and when possible. But at the same time, it's like I don't know, cheese is pretty good. What can I say? Yeah. What am I don't know. It's very interesting, you know, taking tablets and pills in general. Obviously, I do take other medication things, but But what? Every time I think about, you know, medication and stuff like that, I'm not sure what this falls out. I guess it would be medication. I'm not sure. It's sort of a weird thing. I guess it's kind of like hay fever tablets now I think about it, which is also a thing. Oh my gosh. I guess I'm just getting more allergic to things as I grow older, which is very weird to think about. Because when I was younger, I did have hay fever, and I basically somehow my hay fever just went away. I didn't like insanely bad hay fever, but like it wasn't the worst like I've ever known, but it was like really not great. But normally I get extremely itchy eyes, like I had to get eye drops or something because my eyes basically got so irritated by allergic reaction to, I don't know which type of pollen, but some type of pollen. And then I got like really bad, like not nosebleeds, but like runny noses, right? Classic hay fever things. And then when I hit like pre-teenage years or something, hay fever just basically completely went away. Like the only remnants of it were like sometimes my eyes would get itchy and sometimes I would sneeze a lot. But that was literally it. Like it was basically just completely like normal. So I was like, I don't even need a medication anymore. But now, sometimes it comes back. It comes back not very often, I would say, but there will be some days where I'm just like, wow, this is awful. So I always carry some hay fever tablets now with me as well. And just in case it's like a situation where I'm like, oh, I should probably, you know, it's a thing because I feel like part of me is kind of like resistant to it. This is sort of like, I don't know, maybe something intrinsically in me, ingrained, I don't know, either from nature or nurture, who knows, of like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have to need it. But at the same time, it's sort of just like, this is literally what it was invented for. Like, as long as it's not like adverse effects or something from using it the entire time, which to be fair I haven't done that much research into, except for, you know, just briefly glancing at the side effects or whatever, then I see no reason not to use it, you know? Because modern conveniences should be a miracle worth celebrating, I suppose. Or the fact that they exist to be able to give recompense, I suppose, to things which can be annoying, you know, from any scale, from minor conveniences to much more debilitating things. Which, I don't know, maybe that's a bit of a reductive way to look at things, and I'm not going to dispute that and say it's not, but at the same time, I suppose it's sort of like a, well, you know, should I be that resistant to it? So yeah, I do carry around, and now I'm going to start carrying around some like lactase with me, just like emergency lactase. If I know I'm going to eat something with lactose in it, might as well, like, it doesn't hurt. In fact, record show that the 2 times I've used it has significantly been quite beneficial. Now, all in all, like, maybe it is unneeded, like, because maybe it's a fact that, you know, I'm not actually allergic to lactose and it's something else entirely. But it did cross my mind. I was like, what if it's like gluten or something? So I'm just like, I'm trying to think, like, every time I have cheese, it's often also with something with gluten, so that is possible. But I think about it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've had things with gluten in which I've not reacted to. So I'm like, I'm obviously not trying to like leap to conclusions or like make light, I suppose, of those who are affected by it. But this is more so just like, I guess it's, you know, being open to explore possibilities and then be like, understand it. If it doesn't make sense, then rule it out. I guess that's how I kind of see things. Is that the way to do things? I don't know, to be honest. But at the same time, that's how it is. Have I given a Gacha update? Not really. Uma Musume, I will say, it's a very scary time because the next Champions meet has started. I've only just finished making a suitable parent for it, so now I basically got 3 days. It's about 15 runs to do as many ace runs as possible, which is pretty reasonable, I would say, because I think most times I do less than 15 runs. I think to make my aces, I got a preliminary Kitty Sand Black and a preliminary Valentine Bourbon. And if push comes to shove, during the entire thing, I would make a Ballroom Saiyan Sky. But I'm making a provisional Narita Taishin, despite the fact I don't have an end closer parent. I only have a front parent. It just took so long to get like a decent Tiamabro grandparent. But yeah. Where was I going to go with this? Not much else. So yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me, I'm sure, in my past, it's just been like, oh, what, this feels weird, like carrying around things like medications if I need them, but now I'm just like, well, why not, you know? I guess it's a bit weird that my purse has now got like 4 different types of medication. You know, I've got like a stomach medication, I've got like 2 different types of stomach medication. But I was also thinking as well, because I have like acid reflux issues with my stomach essentially. Which is why I kind of have like a chronic cough. I mean, you might hear it in these videos sometimes. Well, you don't hear my cough in video because I have to mute myself before I cough because I'm like, I don't want to just go straight into a microphone. But like, at least the ongoing theory is that I'm not sure if it's like stupid exactly no, but it's basically like the acid reflux and then somehow like irritates my esophagus in a way, which I suppose in some ways is maybe why I have a sort of growl in my voice sometimes. So yeah, I carry around like stomach medication for that, to make sure I have it before meals and that sort of thing. So I'm just like, what's the difference of it having lactose as well? You know, it's basically just another stomach medication. So I was just like, it's probably not good for my stomach to be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna, you know, do things to like minimize stomach acid, and then anytime I, whether intentionally or unintentionally, eat lactose, I'm just gonna be like, wow, just like mess up my entire digestive system or something. So I was, that's really what motivated me as well. You know, I can be, you know, reason against taking medicine, being like, you know, stubbornly be on my own willpower to try and resist it. But at the same time, I could just be reasonable and just be like, it exists, just do it, you know. You're probably actively making it worse, I suppose, by not doing so. That's my perspective. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, but for my sample size of 2, it's been pretty useful so far. I mean, it's also, I suppose, like, wait, some of the Animal Crossing episodes were like really late, because I was like, I'm gonna wait for like my stomach ache to pass before I do it. I mean, it just didn't pass, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about like lactose, or like why lactose intolerance exists, and it's something because like you don't have lactase, and lactase is needed to break down lactose itself, which is a simple sugar. Otherwise, if you don't, then you're basically ingesting it through the small intestine as the full compound, which I'm not actually sure why that irritates the small intestine or large intestine. Let's see. Why does lactose cause cramps? Small intestine lacks sufficient lactase enzymes to digest milk sugar. Undigested travels to the large intestine where bacteria ferment it, creating excess gas and acids. Oh, I see. Because I knew it was about lactase, not having lactase to not break down lactose. But I never really like connected the dots. I was just like, oh, you know, lactose goes through your system and then that gives you like cramps. And I was just like, how does that make sense then? But that's interesting. It ferments it in your large intestine. And that causes a build-up of gas because of this fermentation process, like with bacteria fermenting anything or digesting it, causes it to release gas. Interesting. That's what causes these cramps and stuff. That's genuinely fascinating. That's a beautiful part of science. Like, a part of science I well and truly love is how things link together. Just like that, like this cause and effect, you know. Obviously, lactose intolerant can't break down lactase. Like, what does that mean? How does that affect things? And then you can have a through line from one exact causation into another causation, into another causation, into a final effect. There's a certain beauty in that. And often why I say I have a deep appreciation of both the sciences and the arts, because of how naturally one can lead into the other. Anyway, that's kind of like the long and short of it. It's not a very interesting story, but yeah, I'm carrying around some lactase stuff now, lactase enzymes. But I do also think it's probably in my best interest to sort of minimise my cheese consumption, because it's not at the stage where it's like it does have to be like a decent amount of cheese before it becomes an issue for me. Like, if I had a cheeseburger, I'd be fine. If I had a whole cheese pizza, I probably wouldn't be fine. But there's some things which I find like weirdly trigger it more than others. Like, I think some chocolates trigger it more than others, and I can't figure out exactly how or why the logic behind it works, which makes it very confusing. Because I remember that, like, my friend is also lactose intolerant, and he talks about things, and he says that sometimes, like, it can affect him, like, even eating something like cheese and onion crisps. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I tried it with cheese and onion crisps, and it's been fine. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know. Or maybe I didn't know wait long enough. It's really hard to tell. Because some things it feels like it has quite an instant effect. So I had a Kit Kat the other day, and that felt really bad, but maybe it was just weird timing. Because I also can't remember what I had for lunch that day, so maybe I had something with cheese in. It's weird, because it's not something I really think about all that often now. But now it's something like I need to build into what I'm thinking about eating. I'm a little bit too laissez-faire, I suppose, with stuff I eat normally, because I'm just like, rather indifferent, I suppose, in first place. You know, I'm not going to say I'm not a foodie, but I'm not going to say I'm not a foodie, you know. I like food. I think it's interesting. It's not my greatest passion. So yeah. I don't know what I was going to say about that. So I guess my point is, at the end of the day, I'm taking some lactase. But that's it. And it's a very useful enzyme to break things down. Anyway, on that note, I'm not sure I'm going to have much time to be able to work on Fawnhallow. I'll maybe work on it a little bit more. But at the very least, I will open up. Because I would like to, and I would like to record a video tomorrow, and then maybe it'll be uploaded for the day after, on Saturday. I think that's ideal. Whether or not that's going to happen, I can't. Who can really say for certain? What the? What's happened? The text just disappeared. Okay, do not save. I opened it and tried to edit the day text, and then it literally just disappeared. Probably because this file is huge, mind you. I do wonder how many layers it has, but let's not think about that too much. Okay, put the blurred version back on. Oh, you know what would have been funny is if I did it like slightly less blurred every single time. We'll just stick with this for now. Oh my gosh, it takes so long to render the image. Probably what I should do, now I think about it, is I should flatten the image and then export it to a different file for the text, rather than keeping on the same one. But whatever. Anyway, it's pretty late, so on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscriptions, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.